Laid out here, I've got an absolute smorgasbord of electric spaghetti. We're starting here. We got an American Auto Wire Power 13 kit. It's pretty much basic universal kit, 13 circuits, very simple. As far as wiring goes, obviously the more circuits you add to your system, the more complicated it will be, the more important it is to stay organized. And we're going to take this brand new kit, wiring harness, and we are going to cut it up. First thing I need to do actually is figure out where this fuse panel is going to go. There's a big flat spot right there, and I think mounting it to the side like that makes the most sense for me. Before I cut or terminate anything, I need to go through and exercise some thoughtful planning to make sure the modifications I'm making are going to work reliably. I'm documenting all the changes I'm making to the harness ahead of time. That way I've got a roadmap to help keep things organized as I go along. I'm also paying very careful attention to the wire sizes and current draw, just to make sure that the components I'm using, the terminals and the connectors, are going to be able to support the load. And for this level of wiring, I insist on top quality components. Lots of suppliers are out there, but the local parts store is typically not on my shopping list for this type of stuff. I got a lot of work to do, so I'm going to get started on the big circular connector for our bulkhead connection on our main harness going out to the engine bay. Strip, crimp, repeat. There's a lot of terminals to be crimped on here. I like to do each wire individually and give each one a test to make sure I'm getting a really nice, solid, reliable crimp as I go along. We're going to leave the connector bodies off for now because we need to be able to get sheathing, heat shrink, all the other stuff on these wires to get everything beautified as we go. We'll get our crimp done here. Wire layout is pretty simple. Just going to lay everything out, run it where it needs to go, mark it, then I'll pull the whole harness out, take it on the bench, make all the cuts, terminations, and get everything buttoned up. Harness is really starting to come together now. We got our bundles all sorted out. They're neatly wrapped up. Make sure our order of operations are good. Make sure we put the heat shrink on before the connector bodies. And, at this point, all those notes that we took early on in the process are really going to come in and pay dividends when we go to pin out our connectors. Save us a lot of time. And then once all that's finished up, we're happy with it. And the last thing to do is just shrink down the tube and get it all patched up. On the interior side of the harness here, I'm using just a cloth harness tape on the junctions in the harness, but on the exterior, the engine bay side, I'll use a nice thick silicone tape. And this finishes off the inside section of the harness pretty much. And now we get to do the same thing all over again on the engine bay side. Our ignition switch does not send ignition power during the crank
process. So we've got to get power to the ignition while the engine's cranking. To do that, we're gonna steal off the starter. So I've already got a cable or wire run here from that'll hook up to the starter. We don't have a third terminal on our starter, so we just have to take what we can get. Now, there are kits you can buy, right, that add, they're basically a little diode that you could splice into that to keep power from backfeeding into your starter while you're just under run. Those kits cost, I don't know, 30 or 40 bucks. Or you can just get yourself a diode and throw it in there. And these are only a few cents a piece. Now, there's probably going to be some people that'll say, hey, you got to solder that. And they're probably right. But I'm going to do the experiment for you. Okay. Perfect. And finally now I get to hook up the battery. We're going to keep our nose open to see if we smell anything. We're going to listen for arcing and sparking. All of the things. Alright, be on the lookout now. Tell me if you see anything. Probably should have got a ratchet wrench for this. Is that gonna snug up today or what? Okay, there we go. There was somewhat snug. There we go. I mean, that's on there pretty good. Okay. So far, so good. Doesn't appear to be anything catastrophic. Nothing blew up. I do need to set this tack to the correct RPM, so maybe we'll just do that. Okay, so what that whine was is that was the starter, and I think I got my diode backwards. So let's go fix that, huh? Okay, let's try this again. Okay. We got that set. Look at that. We got gauge lights. Perfect. We've got good signs. That's what we've got here. I'm liking it. We got a good response on the dash. The battery's been hooked up for quite a while. And not smelling anything burning. I'm not hearing anything popping and sizzling. I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. This is a big step, and we're flying. We're doing the thing. The next one's big. We'll see you next time.